Okay, good. Long time ago, if you remember, any of you served in the military. I don't know if any of you did serve in the military, but they sent everybody to boot camp. And in boot camp, they taught you basics over and over and over and over repetitively. So when you got in the field, you would rely on those basic experiences you had to fall back on. We're going to be covering not only basics, but some things maybe even a little advanced from the standpoint to help you understand. You're going to have some questions pop up, and we're going to be glad to answer them. Sister Pixton and I serve the mission for the church headquarters mission, training full-time missionaries, our age bracket, how to do family search, everything from people from foreign countries to engineers who couldn't speak English. And we do it over a 2-week period, 5 days a week, 3 hours every day with them, individually teaching them, and they would be in group activity. But what we're going to do today is we're going to cover some of those basic things. But the software and the algorithms used by the church is constantly changing by FamilySearch, constantly changing. And I think if it's important to understand that some of the things we're going to point out for, you're going to go, well, yeah, I don't do it that way. I appreciate that. Or we're going to teach you, believe it or not, the way it's been taught by engineers, how it's supposed to work, okay? And I assure you, this is smooth and you'll be able to understand it. So I wanted you to take out, first of all, is there anybody here that doesn't have an account? Everybody has their own account, okay? Has everybody signed on?
I don't know that we have one.
Okay.
I tried to make one.
Okay, so before you leave tonight, we're going to help you set up an account, okay? So if you could follow along on the screen, and then if you have a computer, then you're going to be able to have some time to do that too. But if you're following the computer and not watching what I'm talking about, I'm going to lose you. Okay, you're going to go, whoa, 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 what did you just say? Okay, so let's start first of all, and we're just going to follow this pattern. So you can go home after this is all done and go, okay, I remember that. Okay, and in the syllabus that you have in front of you, it says log on to FamilySearch. Okay, you can see I've already logged on to FamilySearch here, and it's up here on my computer. And I'm going to just go through the basics of what this information is covering, and you can follow along with it. So we've already got that done. It says explore the family history screen. Right over here on the right side of the screen, you'll see right here, it says try the new screen. I've got it on there. I'm going to kick it back to the old screen. So some of you may go, oh, okay, I remember that. So you can go back and forth, okay? Whatever's most comfortable, and it's right here. If you'll notice on the screen here, my name's up here in the upper right-hand corner. And then here is a bell that shows there's some notifications, people that I'm following, okay? And I'll point that out as we go along. Honoring mothers, birthdays of Sarah Lang, anniversary of my great-great-grandfather, and birthdays, etc. Okay, and there's all the notifications. By clicking outside the screen, it closes that screen. See that? All I have to do is click outside of that. If you ever get lost on FamilySearch, all you do is come over here to FamilySearch, okay? And that's a hot link, will automatically take you back to where you started, okay? Okay, down below here is a news link, okay? Here is honoring mothers. I'm just going to click on it real quick. This shows mothers, my mother, grandmothers, and we'll do the same thing on your screen, okay? And FamilySearch put this on here as well as going to do for other different time frames. Then this is a news link down below here. This is stuff that other people have posted most recently that are ancestors of mine, okay? And you can see different things that they've posted about different family members. articles. Okay.
Does that go automatically into family search under your name?
Yes,
That's when you bring up any time you want.
correct. Yep. Okay. Over here, there's a task box. If you look over here on the right-hand side, here is ordinance ready. And as I need to close this. I need to close this. There we go. Recent. Where am I at? Up or down, Jania? Oh, okay, right here. Okay. Okay, there's my task list. And on the task list, it's pulling up. You can see I get lost on it too. On the task list, it's pulling up everything that's going on here of tasks that the computer, okay, is suggesting I work on. It says, Randy, Anna's Odie, okay, and it shows view my relationship. I'm going to click on that. Anna's Odie, here I am, my father, and I'm going to just slide this down here. Here she is. She is my great-great-grandfather, George Pixton and Mary Ankinson's. Here's my grandfather. Here's my great-great-uncle, John, and Anna's Otis E. Pink, which would indicate what, Ron? She is a she. Very good. So pink is females, blue is males. Okay. And there's the relationship. It says she is the wife of my great-great-uncle. Okay. Okay.
Now, I can understand you can do the kids of that very job now.
Okay, that's true. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Here on this is a hyperlink. So anytime you see blue, these are all hyperlinks. So if I click on that, it's going to take me right to their page. Does everybody follow me on that? You go, okay, what does this mean? That indicates then, let me ask you, what would that mean to you? What does that green box mean? Okay, so there's temple work to be run, and you go, well, yeah, but there's one in gold. Okay, and then this blue one over here says there's a hint. We're not going to do hints tonight. We're going to show you how to load those on in 2 weeks. We're going to come back and do it again. But here's a hint, and that hint is the England birth records. And you go, okay, well, what do I do with that? A lot of people say just leave it alone. Not true. The engineering department for Family Search says this, and let me tell you, there's better than 1,000 engineers that are working on Family Search, 1,000. And those engineers are saying, if you will learn how to attach this, it will add all the dimensions of that information. You might be, here is the birth. It might tell you who the parents were or other family members. And you always want to attach those or review them. The probability that that is correct is 97.8%. That is correct. Okay. Now the computer says these are not all right, but the engineering department has said that it's a high probability of 97.8%. Okay. And these are others. So I can go show more. I'm going to do that real quick. And I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click show more. And I'm looking for something else because he's gold. Look, here's a bunch of blues. Okay. And these are all hints. And it's saying, please attach that record to James Clark or here to Mary Fuller. Okay. And I'm going to just open it up. We're not going to attach it, but I'm going to show you. Here's the hint. It's Connecticut Charles Hale Vital Records. I'm going to click on that again. Death record. Okay. 24th of May, shows his burial, his birth date, spouse. I can click review. I'm just going to do it real quick. Okay. And it's saying, here is Family Search, possible match. And here's the record, the vital record from Connecticut. Okay. Now, the only reason I'm showing that to you is in 2 weeks, we're going to come back and show you how to make those attachments, how to merge records. Okay.
Will that go away if you don't do anything?
No,
That will still stay there.
it still stays there. I'm not going to do anything right now. Let me see. Which one am I on here? I got to get back. Okay, good point. So if I want to go back to the beginning, look right here, the hyperlink says Family Search. I click on that and it takes me right back to there, okay? Okay, so we've gone through the blue icons on your sheet. These are temple icons here in green and gold. Green is going like this. Again, is saying, hey, please, please pay attention to me. I'm ready to go. Just attach me. Okay. Have you ever gone looking for somebody that you couldn't find? You spend days, weeks, and months on looking for them on and on and on for their records and can't find them? Elder Bednar said this. He says, don't spend any longer than 20 minutes looking for somebody. Then go find the people that want to be found. Makes sense? Here, these people are telling me, I want to be found. I want you to do something with my record. Okay?
What does the yellow one stand for?
The yellow one says more information is needed, is all. It's saying, if you'll attach another record to this, I will more likely turn green. If you, it might say, if you'll go look and add just a little more information, I'll turn to green, and that's all it's going to have you to do. The first thing you would do that, second thing you would work on is them. And so this is giving you a recommended task list. Okay. We've gone through the temple icon, the blue icon hints. And if you look here, and we looked at what the relationship was, remember that? On these is, see that right there? That hyperlink will show my relationship to Joseph Riley. I didn't even know I had family name Riley's. Corrigan's, Pajama Downing, John Hamilton, that's a family name. Okay, so if you go to your second page of the syllabus, it says, look at the recent people list. Okay, so where is the recent people list? Down on the right, recent people list. There it is. So I would click on that. That's telling me people that I've recently looked at. So you go, you know, last week I was working my family history and I completely forgot who I was working on. My sister died just a year ago this month. And pretty emotional for me. But she died a year ago, and her records have come up. The rules have changed now. It was, remember, 1 year? What's the new rule? 30 days. 30 days.
Really?
Yeah, 30 days is the new rule. After a person dies, you can take their name to the temple. Okay, and I'm going to hit briefly on this. Some of you may be here, may not be members of the church, but in this situation here, Susan was not active in the church. Okay, who can make the determination? She was married, she had a daughter and a son, and I'm her brother. Who can make the determination? Who decides whether her record is taken? Who's the closest family member? Who would it be? Her husband, children, or me? So I can make that decision. I made the decision. I talked to her husband, got permission, then found out that I chatted with the temple. They said, not necessary. You could have made that decision because you are one of the closest relatives. Okay.
Because you're on the family groups.
Correct. But I'm a sibling, a child, or a parent, or a spouse. Okay. So any one of those would help me take and do that. Okay. I apologize for moving along here, but I think we only have an hour, and I'm 49 minutes in here, 6:49.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be doing this again and again. How many of these meetings?
2 weeks we're going to be doing, where I'm going to be showing you how to merge and attach records.
2 weeks.
Mhm.
How about after that?
They'll be every 2 weeks. Yeah.
we, so, I mean, I know, so it's good to see that.
Oh, yeah, we want to give you help. We're doing an overview, okay? And I'm gonna tell you some new things you may not know about, but the big thing is here is your husband name, what's your name, sir? Ty Randy. So I'm you, Ty, and I go, oh my gosh, I'm confused. Where is he? Lost me already. Here's the default button right there. If you get lost, go to the default button and you're going, oh my gosh, I think I made a mistake. You can't make a mistake. The computer's not gonna let you make a mistake. But keep in mind this, it's gonna always show you a week, 2 weeks ago, or the last time you went to your page, who you looked at. Here I looked at myself and these people, okay? This is an aunt that died in 2009, okay? And I was looking at their records and I can click on see more and I can go back farther. Here's my mother that died in 2001 and on and on and on, okay? And if I go too fast, I apologize. Just say, hey, slow down, go over that one more time. Okay, where are we at, Jania? Menu bar explanation. Okay, up the top. Okay, across the top right here, if you look at here and I click on family tree, these buttons go and we're going to hit on each one of them so you can see there's an overview of family tree, search tree. Okay, and it goes into that building the tree, collaborating with others. Okay, and then right here it says view tree. I'm going to click on and view my tree. Up pops my tree, my children and their spouses. So I can click right there. There's our children. Okay, any place out here I can click and it closes. See that? And click there, it's open. Click out here, it closes it. So in the past, we weren't supposed to be putting living people on here. Now you put them on. You put all your children on, their spouses, your grandchildren. And guess what? Nobody can see this. Nobody can see my children except me that are alive. Okay. Anybody that's alive, they can't see. Okay. And then here's my wife's side of the family, Jania's side of the family. Okay, and look at over here. This green tab popped up, which means what? It needs temple work done. Okay. Oh, I don't know what it is. I do kind of know what it is, but I think it's a redundant one in that one. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to tree. And if you'll look here at the landscape button, I rarely operate from this button. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to come over here to portraits. Okay. And it changed the screen. If you look at that. Okay. And then another option is I can go over here to options. Okay. And I can say temple ordinances are clicked. Research. I'm clicking research. And I can come here and I can say, I want to turn off the pictures because I want to look at more data. So I do this. Okay, I can do that. And it didn't help me on that portrait one. It's effective on landscape, I believe. Let's see. I can come down here to portraits. Let's see. Yeah, it allows me to look at more data faster. That's all it does, and puts more information on the screen. Okay. Okay, the other important screen is fan chart. So I'm going to pull up the fan chart, and on the fan chart, let's see if I can get this down smaller. There we go. There we go. Right over here. Thanks, Jania. Okay, if you look at that fan chart, then here I am in the center. Okay, and here's Jania. But let's say that I want to look at somebody else on this fan chart that I want to focus on. I can come right up here to, and I'm going to usually, don't be offended, ladies, but I'm going to usually go to the male because it'll include the female automatically. Okay. I'm going to click on Edwin Smout and I'm going to watch what I do. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna do right this. If you bring your mouse right to there, see how that little mini screen pops up? The fan chart, I'm gonna move him into the number 1 spot. So Edwin now is down here. Oops, let me come over here. Edwin is now down here, and I can take and look more at more documented information going back farther. I want to look back farther, and you're going, okay, how about a little farther? My target space or target person would be somebody between, if I was looking to do some special work on temple work, I would pick William, I would go back to 1775 to 1800, because that's when there was fairly decent records. And I'm going back 7 generations. Now I want you to watch what I do now. I'm going to change this from fan chart to descendancy. I'm going to look at all of William Smout's descendants. Watch what happens. And I'm going to go out 4 generations. And if I had the pictures on, okay, remember portraits? Look how it reduces the amount of data. So I want to look at as much data as possible. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to highlight that for just a second here so you can see that allows me to go look at more information and identify people that maybe there could be some work on. Because if you look over here, look at all the hints over here. Okay. Okay. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to come to descendancy. We looked at fan chart, portrait, landscape. We're going to go to person. So here's my person page. And on the person page, here's the details. The details is this right here: birth date, name, vital statistics. Let's say that we're dealing with my wife, Jania. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to her. Of course, we're always going to have a female is always going to go by her maiden name, always by her maiden name on these records. Okay. And you go, but I want her to have my last name up there too. Say, okay, well, then all you have to do is come down here to other information. Right here, okay, add information, and I can say, I want an alternate name put on there, and I could put Pixton right there, okay? You with me, everybody? I apologize, if you're brand new, this is a lot of stuff, but. Okay, so I would click, where was I at? Details? Okay, so I click on details. Oh, I got to go up. Excuse me. Thanks, dear. And I lost my spot. Add information. Yeah, okay. And there's alternate name. Okay, now you go, I could add other things: military service, immigration, nobility, occupation, religious affiliation, stillborn, other facts allow me to add in there. And when I do that, the computer does searches and is looking for Jania Fowles, Jania Fowles. I put in there Jania F. Pixton, and the computer, oh yeah, we found her. She married this guy right here back in 1973. Okay, long time ago. Okay. Okay, so that was details. Details are going to cover information about her parents, her siblings over here, her children here, okay?
It's my page, and so my name is in black.
Yep, her name is in black. Yep, that's the primary person. These, again, anything in blue are hyperlinks to those individual pages. Anything with a blue is a hyperlink, okay? And then let's go back up here to timeline. We're going to hit on this one. Timeline is showing her life, okay, in different times, 2021, throughout her life, what was happening: death of parents, birth of a child, birth of a child, birth of a child, birth of a child. There's a record hint, Jania. Yeah.
Question: who adds, or how do you add the a marriage or the birth of a child or the death of a parent on that.
On that sheet right there, you'd go to details. Good question. You'd go to details.
Hey,
and
Randy,
then-
could you
yes.
repeat the question, please?
Okay, the question was, how do you add the death of a parent or a child on here? So let's say that her father was still alive, okay? And keep in mind, if he's still alive, she's the only one who can see this. She would go on here. The church is going to submit records when someone dies through an award, okay? But you can go on here because you're a primary source of information, and you could go on here and she could go to his person page, okay? Click on his person page or on his name, either one. We're gonna click on his name and then come right over here and we're gonna go right down to, here is death and edit. She could even change it, okay? Now, if you notice, there's a person, other people are watching in this scenario to see if any changes are made to Bill's or Bill Fowles's records, and they're notified when that's happening, okay? This could be your children, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, whatever.
Right.
You need to focus on the information relative to your personal family, okay? So we've looked at details, timeline, sources. This represents all the sources that people have attached to his family tree. And these are all documented. And if you look over here, here's a grandson, another grandson. Here's my wife, Tania. Put it.
You attach a hint, it will show that you did.
Yes, in perpetuity.
All right.
Okay. And if you add a picture under memories, for example, people can't edit your picture. They can edit it on their file, but not in yours. Okay. So those are all sources that have been attached. Are there more coming up? Constantly. So the 1950 census records that are now up are being attached to that. So Bill Fowles in 1950 lived in Sandpoint or Utah? Jania? Utah. He lived in Ogden, Utah, Roy, Hooperville, in Hooper, Utah. And so somebody could be looking at the records and they would add at that time from the census record, and that would appear as a hint, okay? And they would attach it to this record. Okay? Okay, so there's all these sources, 53 sources. Collaborate, okay? This is if you want to put notes in here or have discussions with somebody. Jania was having a discussion with one of her cousins today about some family records. She could have done online and had some notes in there, okay? Which is important. Went back to details. Life sketch. There's no life sketch here, which is a sin above all sins. Everybody should put together a short life sketch on what their mother, their father, whatever, and what they think of them, or a child, or a parent, or whatever it is. You should go in there and put a short life sketch together and about their life, about what you know. Okay, I did that about my grandparents, parents, etc. Memories. Memories have to do with 3 or 4 different things. Photos, okay? And these are photos that have been added, and then documents, stories, and audio. So the software here will accept audio recordings that you can download on here and of a conversation, something you recorded on your phone or something you recorded in a hand recorder. You can put in there. You can't put visual, but you can do audio. You can go to a discovery center of the church in different places. Those discovery centers, you could go in, record it, and have it posted right to FamilySearch. There's discovery centers in Seattle, Salt Lake, St. George, and a couple other places down in Utah. that I know of. Okay. But here is my dad. I don't know who did this, but oh, Jania did this. Here's something she wrote about her dad right here. And he was in an orchestra in Ogden and then in Sandpoint when they moved to Sandpoint. Okay. So there's memories. So memories, one other thing is here is on memories. Go ahead.
How do you download a picture?
How do you download a picture? We're going to cover that in another session. Okay. That in itself is an hour-long class.
Can you do it here?
Yes, you can. You can come to the Family History Center, bring slides, pictures, photographs, whatever, and they can download them and load them right onto the computer for you, right here. Okay.
Can you download them? Say I have a picture on my phone. Can I download that to my home?
Yes, yes, you.
Pull it up off that.
Yes, the question is, can you download pictures from your phone? Yes, you can. You download them to your computer and then upload them right on here. And
There's a memory app you can get on your phone too, and directly from your phone to the memories.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Okay, all these, look right here, upload photos, select from gallery. Okay, this allows us to select pictures, you know, and I have pictures here, lots of them. Okay, I mean, lots and lots of pictures of a homestead down in Utah of my great-great-grandfather Smout. So all of this can be added and shared with everyone. You don't need to possess the pictures. You need to share them. The only way they're of value is if you share them with everybody else. Okay. So important areas. We're just going to hit on a couple of these ordinances. Ordinances we talked about earlier. This shows here any ordinances that have been done on Bill Fowles. And so if we were to look at this, he was endowed in 1929 in Salt Lake. Initiatory completed, baptism, et cetera, sealing to spouse, 1932 in Salt Lake. Sealing to parents, he was born in the covenant, does not to be sealed to his parents. Okay, he was born under the covenant. There was no reason for a sealing, correct? Okay, everybody understand that one? Okay, over here to the right-hand side again is view and tree. We've been there. Okay, I just want to show you. There's multiple places you can get back to where you want to go. Let's say that Jania wants to follow her dad. If anyone makes any changes, I just starred this, she's notified every week if anyone makes any changes to his records. And I would want to do that on my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and then I can go over here and view my relationship in my situation. Well, it's my wife's parents, okay? So you can see there's multiple spots you can go to look at. Question?
So you're following him, someone changes something, where do you get the?
You're going to get an email to your email account that's indicated there's been a change for the week. Then if what you'll do is usually it'll appear right up here. See that notifications? It'll appear up here under that bell. See that bell right there? Yeah, but you get them an email review too. Okay. Okay. What's the next one we're doing, Jania? Right here? Left? Oh, person. Okay. Okay. Here's recent things I've again visited on this place right here. What's this? Start. Pick a time. Remind me later. Very good. Okay. This again reminds me of all the places I've visited today on recent. Let's go to find. So if I want to go find somebody on Family Tree, I can go in here, type their name. Okay, first name, last name, where was the most recent record, might have been, if they died some time ago, would be where they died or something that you had, or a birth record or where they lived and their approximate birth or death year. And then it allows you to do a search. And then there's more options here for more detail that I can go in about birth, marriage, residence, death, the spouse's name. And then I can click on here if I want, oh, I know the exact spelling, okay? This is just one of the search engines. Or your your sister calls you up and says, hey, I've got the ID number on great-great-grandmother, and here is the ID number. They used to call them PID number or personal ID number. I could put that ID number in there and do a search on that, okay? Following was what I mentioned earlier. These are people that I'm following. These people that I am currently following, great-grandfathers. Okay, these Joshua Brigham Morgan picture. In fact, I put that picture in there of different grandfathers that I'm following. Alexander Baird. I found out I was related to President Baird here in the area. Jania, question?
Well, and if anybody makes any changes to any of these that he's following.
Look over here. See the changes been made? Now, those changes could be they added additional records, okay? Or additional spellings. Now, this seems like a lot of information to take in, and I understand that, but at the same time, all I'm doing is I'm coming right across here. We went across this up here, okay? Here's my contributions. This shows contributions that I've made on FamilySearch. And I mean, it's a lot. So we're about right here. Okay. This shows my reservations that are shared, family group sheets completed, ordinance ready. So let's go look at my reservations. So if I had requested somebody, again, here's my sister, I just requested, I reserved it on April 27th. And I beg your pardon? What does that mean? Okay, this means she was baptized, confirmed, but didn't have any other temple work done, okay? And so these three are all available to be done, not printed yet, but available. I reserved it on the 27th of April. I have 2 years to complete it, or by the May 12th, and it automatically goes back, okay? Now, let's say I reserved this and I said, I want to share it, okay? So I click here and I click share, okay? That means I want to share it with somebody else, or I want to just share it to the temples to go ahead and do it, okay? Don't do that. The reason, if you share it with another family member, fine. But if you share it with the temple, it could take 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they would get to it. 85% of all temple work being done right now are family names, okay? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was 20%. Now it's in the 80 percentile. So they aren't going to have the time because people are bringing their own family names when they go to the temple. So I'm not going to share that unless the only reason I share it is I have a niece that may want to do it, and I would share it with her.
I have a question.
Yep.
If you share it with a niece or a daughter or somebody, is that reservation still good for the 2 years? Or is it?
They have only a limited time for them to complete it.
Usually like
60
days?
60 days, I think it's right. 60 days.
And then does it come back to you?
Comes back.
Or does it go to the temple?
I don't know. That's a good question. The question is, if you share it, does it come back to you? I don't know that because you're kind of giving it up for them to do it. Does anyone know that question?
that they're reserved by someone?
Yes,
And if you want to go do ceilings and he hasn't done that, if you request it, it will let you do it.
yes, yeah, yeah. If somebody's reserved it, and that was going back to my comment, if somebody reserves it and says they're making available the temple and you want it, they'll automatically release and you'll get it.
And they also, because in my reservation box, you haven't gone to the part where you can show you things to take for ceilings. I think that the temple or the computer gathers names that people have shared with the temple that are your names and puts them in your box.
Correct, correct. Yeah, that's correct. So, and that, go ahead, yes.
I know, not go back to basics, but what is reservations? Is something that you're working on?
Yes, you're saying, hey, I want to reserve, let's say, for example, the question is, what is reservations? The question is, let's say you have some children that are between ages 11 and 17, 18, 20, 25, it doesn't really matter. And they want to do the temple work and do the baptism. Okay, so you go and you would reserve, you would put a reservation on her. Hers has been completed, but let's say it hadn't been. And then you would say, hey, granddaughter, child, whoever, here's the name. They would go to the temple and do the temple work and do that baptism and do the confirmation.
It's just us saying that we want to do this temple work and nobody else can do it, so it doesn't get done multiple times.
Yeah. You know, keep in mind, years ago, when we were working in Salt Lake, a lady came in with how many names she'd reserved, Jania? 600 names. And she packed them like this, like, you know, and we were saying, hey, you know, that's not right. You shouldn't have any more in your reservations, I call the temple box, than what you can do in 1 year, okay? And if you can do those names in 1 year, then great. But if you can't, then you need to allow somebody else to do the work. Just filling up a deal with a whole bunch of names is not the answer. So sometimes we will, so you can see this is printed on Joseph Morgan, and it's to do the endowment. Here is to do a ceiling, okay? But you can go in here and you can share them. It shows the stuff that's been completed and then ordinance ready. So the computer says, let me look on under ordinance ready. And I want to go just do baptismal work at the temple. So I click on that screen and it says 04 found, is searching still. Oh, found one, found 3. And it's going to give me 4 names. That's all it's going to do. Okay, I've allowed the computer to take it over and it says, okay, here's 4 names that I can take the temple right now. Now, do you know what the likelihood 2 years ago that I would be able to do that? Nil. I would have searched and searched, and in less than 30 seconds, it gave me 4 names of family members. And it says, look at that, learn about Oliver Eldon Holt. And I don't know who he is. I could go over here and view my relationship, and it says, yeah, he's a distant relative of mine way back.
So you or somebody else put them in there and they know that they're related.
And it's what the sister back here is mentioning. The computer searches out and goes, hey, brings it in. Okay.
That's neat. I didn't know.
You could have more, I think you should, my family are converts, and so we have a lot of temple work, so I have a lot more than I can do, and that's when I share them with the temple.
Yes.
And it's not taking 5 years.
And
I got 3 things today of temple work that got done.
how long ago did you put them in?
That's what I got.
Okay, so the question.
I think it's getting done faster, and that's how the other.
Okay, keep in mind, we had just came off of 2 years where they were all shut down. Okay, and so if you have family names, you're encouraged to do your own family names or have friends help you.
Can you show us how to get to that spot one more time?
All the way to the top. And we were at
Temple.
So Temple, and then you go.
There's my reservations.
So just put in the ordinance.
Oh, is there ordinances ready? then?
Okay, let's do ordinance ready.
Okay, under Temple, okay.
Yeah, under Temple.
All right.
And there it is. So I can pick, I can say, hey, we're gonna go to the temple in Idaho Falls and I want to do ceilings. I can click on that and it's gonna go found 2 of 10, 4 of 10. Oh, it's gonna give me 10.
It'll give you 4 baptisms, it'll give you 1 endowment, 1 initiatory.
Yeah. And if you're new to this, the best way to do is get with one of the specialists in your ward and have them help you some more on this. Okay. This is a lot at all, to take in at one time. We only have about 10 minutes left. Let me ask, is there any questions at this point that you want to go back over?
Not on this, but I do have a question. We did some ordinance work down in the West Jordan Temple in Salt Lake here a couple of weeks ago. And my brother-in-law went through for us. And somehow he ended up with the name that didn't have the initiatory work done. And when he took it to do the endowment, the new names missed it. The examination at going into the ordinance room missed it. And it was finally picked up at the Vale. So they shut him off. I mean, they pulled him back. And then they sent the name down
Quickly and did it.
and then come back. So I checked on it yesterday or today, but it still doesn't show that the initiatory work was done. It shows the endowment done, but not the initiatory.
I would follow up with the temple on that one. I would, but that's, I mean, we've worked at the temple in Spokane and that is the way it's handled. If that happens, they quickly take it back, do the initiatory and then process it through.
I went over there too, but I was a little bit puzzled that it wasn't.
It should be. Yeah. Yeah, I would call them because they have a record of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any? There.
There's some people that think they have a lot of names that we should help them. So they're gonna have to understand, most people in the board are doing their own names. So they're not gonna be able to, convert, take it to one person and tell them we need help. Because I don't think that's fair. They have a whole bunch of names, but everybody wants to do their own temple.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where the problem is.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is that we help other people have the experience in getting to know Family Search. And I mean, we've been involved in this for a number of years. And so it's constantly, the software is constantly changing. But the easy thing is if I came on here and I said, hey, listen, I'd like to reserve a name to take the temple. Then what I would do, put everything aside that we talked about, go right there, go down to ordinance ready, and you go, what do you want to do? I want to do baptism. I want to do initiatory, endowment, ceilings. And there you go. If you don't learn anything today, this concept or this idea came about by other software companies that brought that technology to Family Search, who originally worked for Family Search. That technology was held in other companies. So all you need to do today is go home, pull up Family Search, go to Temple and click on Ordinance Ready, and you can come up with a new name, go to the Temple.
But if you already have some printed and you want to take some more, if you're gonna go to several temples or go for several days, when you hit that, it may show those ones that you've already printed.
Might.
And you just need to double check.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, and I guess the question I think everyone needs to realize too is if you print off a card, for example, and you've lost it, you can go back on and print it again, But the best thing again is to get a specialist in your ward and come to the classes, or better yet, come right here to the library and sit down with one of the family history specialists right in here and do a one-on-one. That's the absolute best thing. Let me just point out, we just got a couple minutes here. If you're new here today, and you folks are new, right? What is the most important thing that you want to take out of this? What is that you're looking for?
We have, 3 family members that we do temple work for, and
Okay, so the question is, they have some family members that apparently have died that they want to do the temple for, and they don't know how to start. So what ward are you in? Dalton Ward. Okay. And are you in Dalton Ward? Okay, so would you be willing to go over to their house and help them? Okay, she'll come over to your house and help them get ready for you, okay? Is there a time you want to set with them? Okay, great. Okay. Does that help you? Okay, so let's do the stuff that gets action. That's what's most important.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Jania.
When you go to this, like we have grandkids in Utah, and they call up and they say, we're gonna go do baptisms for the dead on Tuesday. Then I just go here, baptism and confirmation. And you click on it, the names come up, and you can print it or share it, and I send it to their email or their parents' email. They print them off and go.
Yeah, do they only get 4?
Well, yeah. But you know what, when you go to the temple and do baptisms now, you only have that hour when you're.
Yeah, you're only on like 5 names.
I read 17.
Yeah, I know, you're lucky.
That doesn't.
No. Yeah. So this allows you to do it, but the most important thing is we want to help people understand this. And it's just a great tool. You know, another thing you could do, here's something all of us could take and do, is we could take and come down here to, I got to get back to the family tree. We could come back here to family tree, and we could start by doing something real easy. Okay. This is a good place to start, is come down here on your parents. I'm going to pick my dad. And remember, I can come here on the hyperlink or on his person, either way, hyperlink. So I'm going to go there to his page, and I could start here and I could write his life sketch. You know, all of us, maybe not everyone. Well, here's my dad, grew up in the Depression era in Southern Idaho on a farm. He served in the Marines during World War II in the Pacific and fought in the battles that helped to win the war. Why not start by doing that one simple thing about your parents?
You know what else helps?
What else?
Here's the timeline. Because I was trying to figure out in the next story for my mother. And it on the timeline tells
Yeah.
where she was born. You can look at the birth of the children in her family and figure out when the move of the process to Wyoming.
Yeah. So look at here on his timeline. He was born on April 15th, tax day. We always celebrated that by sending money into the federal government. But if you went through here and it shows the timeline of what was going on in his life. If you look here, here's the world census. Here in 1940, he was 16.
And this is a new feature, and the computer is just doing that.
Computer's automatically building that for you. Okay. Very helpful.
Comes from the 50 census. Part of that comes from the 50 census.
Correct.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
So when those hens come on, you can attach them, then that's what we show them.
Yeah. So the next time we get together, we're going to close up right now. It's 7:28. I think we're supposed to close 1 hour. Is that right? So in 2 weeks, we're going to get back together and we're going to show you how to attach hints. So when you come back, and I'm going to go back here, and when you come back in 2 weeks, we're going to show you how to come over here and on these recommended tasks and go on here and start attaching the hints that are on there. Where does that at? let's go. Let me do this. I'm going to change the screen back. There we go. Okay, we're going to show you how to attach these blue hints and why they're so important, but never, if anyone ever tells you those are not important, you need to quit listening to them. Don't listen to them because they don't know what they're talking about. Those hints right there are the backbone of family search, because that right there, more than likely, is a census record or birth record or death record. And when you add it, maybe there's a baby that's gone missing that's on that record, you know? So I would strongly urge you to take that in consideration and then go home tonight and take the sheet and just kind of walk through and click on some of the buttons and get familiar, and then come either here to the library or with this, one of the specialists in your ward and say, hey, come over to my house. We need some help. Okay.
Oh, this will be on YouTube. The whole class that we just watched will be on YouTube. So you guys can watch it again if you need, and the handout will be on the YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so come into FHC, talk to your family board. Yeah, try it at home and then come back with questions.
Yeah, and if you want to stay here, we'll help you when the night's over. Ron?
What we need, my use I would talk into my computer and it would put on my computer what I talked. Why can't we do something like that rather than type all this in? Type it, say in the computer, and put it right in there.
I guess you could. I know. That's a good question. Go ahead. What was your question?
I think that's what that is.
On the 22nd, Most Falls State is having a special deal for everybody for a family search. Do you know anything about that?
Don't
The 22nd.
know. I don't know if you know anything about that, Travis. About the 22nd, they said Post Falls Steak is putting on something special over there.
No, I was
But-
wondering if it's been recorded because I'll be out of town.
No. Yeah. Okay, that'll complete it. Appreciate you being here. Do we need to have a closing prayer in here? Okay, so you want to say it for us? Okay.